welcome to Quinceañera, the 2025 Pride Festival for Palomar College. Let's give it up. My name is Nick Mata. I'm the Assistant Superintendent, Vice President of Student Services, and it is my honor to welcome you to our Pride Festival for this year. I'd like to first give a shout out to the Pride Center faculty and staff and the PC3H committee and others who planned this wonderful event. Amazing work, amazing work. Thank you all, thank you all. I would also like to acknowledge we do have a Board of Trustee member here with us today, Trustee Roberto Rodriguez. Thank you for being here with us and showing your support. We truly do appreciate it. This is an exciting time of year. Obviously, many communities, most of the community celebrates Pride in June, but we realize not a whole lot of people are here in June, and so we deliberately do this in May, so we can all be here in community to celebrate all of us and all of the work that we've done over this academic year. So I hope you enjoyed the day. I'm not gonna talk long because I wasn't designated to speak. I am here to just welcome you and say enjoy the afternoon. There's gonna be tacos coming later, so we're excited about that. So please keep an eye out for that and visit the booths. There's some wonderful opportunities to you to engage not only with Palomar College departments, but also community resources and agencies. So enjoy. So it is my pleasure now to introduce Alan Santisteban, our tribal liaison for Palomar College, to do our land acknowledgement.
Mishuxis, Palomar College. Mishuxis mihuek, oyasit Allen, kani mihuek tualami, awanichi, alini otakshum ichupu hetiyaka. The resilient and continued presence of the Bomkawachum Luceño, the Kupangwachum Cupeño, the Iviluitim Kawia, and the very shared ancestral land that we stand on of the Kumeyaay Ipai Digueño. Palomar College, join me in compelling to take sustainable, respectful action to engage the land and its first people with justice and compassion as fellow human beings. Palomar College acknowledges its benefits from the ancestral unceded lands of these sovereign nations and commits to promoting indigenous knowledge, systems, and practices in its educational mission. Palomar College pledges to foster a successful learning environment that supports the indigenous students and engages the needs and concerns of the nations who continue to occupy this land. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you, and Miwok can speak to this acknowledgement. When I read this, it means a lot to me, and I get emotional, so I apologize for stumbling on my words, but thank you for giving me the chance to do so.
And next, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our fearless leader, our superintendent president at Palomar College, Dr. Star Rivera Lacey.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome. It brings me immense joy to be here with you today at one of the most meaningful gatherings we host at Palomar College. Pride at Palomar College is not just a celebration, it's a declaration that inclusion is not just a slogan for us, but rather a lived value. Palomar College has existed for 79 years, and for most of those years, the idea of a Pride celebration was unthinkable. For many in the LGBTQIA+ community, college campus life often meant concealing identity, navigating silence, and seeking safety in the shadows. The reality, for too many years, that this community simply didn't feel seen or protected. But look at us now. Palomar may not always be perfect in its pursuit towards equity, but it is striving to be. And that striving matters. We are intentionally creating spaces where authenticity is not only accepted, but celebrated. Spaces where students and employees can live out their full truths without fear. I'm very proud of our Palomar Pride Center that continues to be a shining example, not just in this region, but across the state, as a space of unconditional inclusion and acceptance, and where we strive to build community. Thank you, Dr. Ben Mudgett, for your intentionality and efforts in growing the center. It is clear you are motivated by love for your community. To the members of PC3H, thank you. Your advocacy, your care, and your consistency make a difference in the lives of so many every single day. You remind us that progress isn't made in the headlines. Instead, it's made in classrooms, committee meetings, and one-on-one conversations. As we celebrate today, we also remain mindful of the moment we are in. Across the nation, we see attempts to roll back hard-won rights, to question identities, to limit expression. And while we won't get into politics today, let's be clear. The need for safe, inclusive spaces is not theoretical, but instead urgent and critical. Our work is not done. We must continue to stand up for our LGBTQIA community, not just during Pride, but always. We must remain vigilant, proactive, and bold in our commitment to equity. That means listening more deeply, advocating more directly, and educating more intentionally. Progress is not a finish line. It's a path we walk together. And while the walk may not always be easy, we never walk it alone. To our LGBTQIA+ students, employees, and community members, your presence here is powerful. Your voice matters, and thank you for your contributions that make Palomar extraordinary. To our allies, thank you for showing up. Keep showing up. In this work, your voice can amplify, your silence can diminish, and your presence can protect. 50 years from now, may people look back on this time and say that we rose to meet the moment, that we didn't waver when it was inconvenient, that we held the line when it mattered most, that we chose each other, that we chose love rather than judgment when it mattered. Let it be said that Palomar College stood on the side of dignity, inclusion, and hope. Let it be known that Palomar is committed to the ideals of pride. Here, you are valued and you are deeply loved, and we believe all deserve joy, safety, and the freedom to thrive. Here at Palomar College, you have found a home. Están en casa, always. Go Comets!
Thank you. Good morning. I get the distinct pleasure of going after Dr. Starr, so you imagine how I'm feeling right now. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And thank you for making space for something that is deeply personal and profoundly communal. Today's Quinceañera Pride celebration is not just about a time to wear crowns or rainbows. It's a time to pause and truly honor the lives of LGBTQ+ students, your voices, your stories, and the incredible journeys that brought you to this moment, and to honor the Palomar LGBTQ+ community members and allies that help to support those experiences here every single day. Pride is incredibly precious to me because I have seen bias and hate embed itself in my own family, creating separations between loved ones where love should have made unbreakable bonds. I share in this moment of pride because I have family members who never got the chance to hold their head up high and embrace their whole selves. They were gone too soon to live in a world that truly valued them. But that is not the case today. Today, we are not just here to celebrate identity, we're here to celebrate resilience, bravery, and triumph in the face of challenges that are often invisible to others. For many of our LGBTQ+ students, school is more than just academics. It's often a test of survival. You sat in classrooms wondering if your identity would be respected or erased. Some of you may have had to come out again and again to friends, to teachers, even to yourselves, while still trying to focus on deadlines and grades. Others have hidden parts of yourselves just to get through the day. Let's take a moment to recognize the strength it takes just to exist in spaces that don't always see or honor you. That strength isn't small, it's radical. And still you are here. You studied, you showed up, you asked hard questions, you succeeded not just despite adversity, but because you refused to let that adversity define your worth. And that is something to be deeply proud of. Being LGBTQ+ is not a distraction from your academic life. It's a lens in which you have sharpened your empathy, your creativity, and your drive. You bring unique perspectives to the classroom, perspectives that challenge norms, expand thinking, and inspire change. As we honor our students today, we must also honor the legacy they stand on, the rich, resilient, and radiant history of this community. This year marks a powerful milestone, the 15th anniversary of our Pride Center. It's quinceañera. For a decade and a half, this space has stood as a beacon, not just as of visibility, but of belonging. It has welcomed students who are questioning, out, closeted, loud, quiet, joyful, grieving, and it is said to each one, "You matter here." The Pride Center has been a home, a classroom, a refuge, and a launch pad. It's where ideas has turned into advocacy and where friendships have turned into chosen family. And today, as we celebrate Pride, we also celebrate 15 years of radical care, community, and change. Queer history is not a footnote, it's a foundation. And from Stonewall Uprising led by Black and brown trans women like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, to the active activists who demanded justice during the AIDS crisis, to the quiet, everyday acts of bravery from queer teachers, artists, and students, this community has always been a source of strength, vision, and transformation. Queer culture has shaped music, art, language, and fashion. It has challenged systems and reimagined what freedom and love can look like. And as we celebrate queer culture, we also must honor the intersectional identities of this community. The Black, brown, indigenous, disabled, neurodivergent, immigrant, and trans voices whose experiences reflect both layered struggle and layered strength. And above all, queer joy, the ability to celebrate selfhood in a world that often says don't. It's revolutionary. Each of you has a story that deserves to be heard. Some of you are the first in your family to live openly. Some of you carry the weight of rejection from homes, from friends, from systems. Some of you are still learning what it means to feel safe in your own skin. Wherever you are in your journey, your truth is valid. Your presence here is powerful. I want to take a moment to speak from the heart, not as a member of the LGBTQ+ community, but as a parent, as an educator, and an advocate who deeply believes in the power of love in all its forms. In my home, I teach my children that love is love, that it can look different in every household, and that those differences are something to be celebrated, not feared. I teach them that identity is not a fixed point, but something fluid, something evolving, just like all of us. And I remind them, like I remind myself, that we can hold space for more than one truth at a time, that we can carry grief for the ways people are still being excluded, and hold hope for the inclusive world we're working to build. That's why I'm here today, because I believe that every student, every faculty, staff member, community member here deserves to feel safe, seen, and celebrated, not just during Pride, but every single day. And so today, as we celebrate Pride, let it be more than just a day. Let it be a promise that we will honor the complexity and beauty of LGBTQ+ lives, as a promise that we will listen, advocate, and show up, not just when it's easy, but when it matters the most. Your journey is not just a part of Pride, it is the heart of it. Let this celebration be a moment of gratitude and joy, a celebration of that resilience, that bravery, and triumph. To every LGBTQ plus student, faculty member, staff member, community member here today, you are a part of history. You are building culture. You are proof that being yourself is more than just enough. It's extraordinary. Let's make room for more joy, more truth, more freedom. Listen to the words that I shared about you: radical, revolutionary, and extraordinary. Embrace that. Here's to 15 years of the Pride Center. And now I have the distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Abby Corey, former Faculty Pride Coordinator and foundational advocate for all things Pride at Palomar.
Hi, everybody. Happy Pride. And happy 15th birthday, Pride Center. Are you ready to celebrate? Woo! So before we get there, I want to take a couple of minutes to look back on those 15 years, on our 15-year journey. Back in 2008, 2009, our campus was not a safe place for queer people, not students, staff, or faculty. And it was with a lot of hard work by a lot of people that we established the Palomar College Committee to Combat Hate, PC3H, and then in 2010, the Pride Center, which at that point was a single small faculty office in a building long ago demolished. The office had belonged to a conservative, homophobic faculty member who retired. So we smudged the space with sage to get rid of those bad vibes. And from those humble beginnings, we started the work of making our campus not just safe, not just tolerant, but a welcoming and celebratory place for LGBTQ folks. Over those years, we created programming for students. We educated staff, faculty, and administration. We created what we have today, a joyous, empowered community of queers and allies. I know there are still pockets of resistance on campus, including some of our highest leadership. And if I can speak about the state of the country as a whole for a minute, it feels like we're going backwards. At our first Pride in 2022, a few speakers mentioned that there were over 200 anti-LGBTQ bills that had been introduced in state legislatures that year. This year, that number is 500. 500. And that is not even to mention the heinous attacks on the trans community at the federal level. So this means we have to continue our hard work, our work that we at Palomar have been carrying out for over 15 years, and that the larger queer community has been doing since before Stonewall. But today, we get to take a break from that work. Today is for celebration. Today, we get to celebrate the hard work, our accomplishments, our journey, celebrate our queer familia. So let's make this a day of revelry and commemoration. Let's have a day of queer joy and queer pride. Feliz 15, Pride Center, and happy Pride. And now I get the honor of introducing the current faculty coordinator of the Pride Center, the illustrious Ben Mudgett.
This is a beautiful day to come together, isn't it? To celebrate identity and resilience and joy and pride. And my name is Dr. Ben Mudgett, and I am the current Palomar College Faculty Pride Center Coordinator. And I have the honor of serving. This is my first year, and it's quite an honor. So whether this is your first time celebrating Pride with us or your 100th, I don't know, welcome, and you all belong here. Today I want to speak just not about where we've been, but I also want to talk about where we're going. So over the past year, the Pride Center has been undergoing a transformation, not just in bricks and walls, but in vision and purpose. And I'll tell you something, it's not just a renovation, it's a reimagination. We asked LGBTQ students, what do you need from us? What does support look like? What does joy look like? And you answered with honesty and with courage and with clarity. And you asked for movie nights, and we said yes. And you asked for Pride celebrations, and we said yes. And you asked for bigger, more visible space, and we said yes. And it's happening right over here. And this fall, it becomes real. We're opening a brand new Pride Center, SU17, right next to programs that also celebrate diversity and equity and inclusion. We'll have a dedicated coordinator, a dedicated counselor, regular programming, and a space that reflects the full spectrum of the queer experience. But this isn't just about a building, it's about building community. We've launched a queer film series. We brought in guest speakers, hosted workshops on everything from mental health to career planning. We've honored lives lost and celebrated lives lived out loud. And we've created a space where students feel safe, seen, and supported. And this isn't change for the sake of change. This is change because our students deserve the best we can offer. And we're not done. To the students, you are powerful. You belong here, and you are the architects of this movement. And to the faculty and the staff, thank you for walking beside us in your dedication to the queer community. And to the broader community, thank you for helping us build a home. You see, we're not afraid of change because we are the change. So today, I'm asking you to join our movement. The Pride Center and the Palomar Foundation have partnered together in creating a Pride Fund. Visit the Pride Center table, scan our QR code, and donate whatever you can, whether it's $100 or $1. Every Friend of the Pride Center donation will help us meet our goal of $10,000 to become a Pride Center endowment, supporting student scholarships and our Pride Center mission. So today, as we dance, laugh, celebrate, remember this is more than a festival, it's a promise that we will keep growing, that we will keep listening, and that we will never stop creating a space and a campus and a world where every LGBTQ person can thrive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Queer Set. So I am a faculty member here in the English department and a member of the Pride Planning Committee. And I just so appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Ben, for asking me to speak, just to share more about the significance behind celebrating the Pride Center's quinceañera. I'll speak in English and Spanish, pero disculpe, mi español es imperfecto, es con acento, pero es de mi corazón. So Latino cultures traditionally celebrate quinceañeras when a young woman turns 15 to recognize her coming of age. They are a ritual practiced with family and community of one's transition from childhood into an adult role and its accompanying responsibilities. Quinceañeras hold a visual and a symbolic power. They are representations of community, culture, and identity, making culture visible in positive ways. Quinceañeras are sometimes criticized for their excess, but what some may call excess, we call resistance. They are expressions of joy and hope for the future, a way to resist invisibility and silence with a style that will take your breath away. Tradicionalmente, las culturas latinas celebran las quinceañeras cuando una mujer joven cumple 15 años para reconocer su paso a la adultez. Es un ritual que se practica con familia y comunidad para marcar la transición de la niñez a un rol adulto con todas sus responsabilidades. Las quinceañeras tienen un poder visual y simbólico, pero muy fuerte. Son representaciones de comunidad, cultura y identidad, haciendo visible la cultura en una manera positiva. A veces se critica a las quinceañeras por ser demasiado elaboradas, pero lo que algunos ven como exceso, nosotros los vemos como resistencia. Son expresiones de alegría y esperanza para el futuro. 15 son una manera de resistir la invisibilidad y el silencio, con un estilo que te dejará sin aliento. Chicana author Norma Cantu writes of quinceañeras, "A ritual is transformative for the whole community, not just for the individual going through it." Today, at our Queer Señera, we celebrate not just the Pride Center's 15th birthday, but also the diversity of Palomar's LGBTQ+ community and their experiences. Our Queer Señera is also an opportunity to think about what coming of age means for members of the queer community. Not all queer youth make it to their 15th birthday. And today, their memory is a fire in our hearts that will continue to fuel our advocacy. And many queer youth weren't able to celebrate their transition into adulthood in a way that honored their true selves. So for those who hold painful memories of being 15 years old, today we celebrate you as much as we celebrate the Pride Center. La autora chicana Norma Cantu escribe sobre las quinceañeras. Un ritual transforma a toda la comunidad, no solo a la persona que lo está viviendo. Hoy, en nuestra Queer Señera, no solo celebramos los 15 años del Centro Pride, sino también la diversidad de la comunidad LGBTQ+ de Palomar y sus experiencias. Nuestra Queer Señera también es una oportunidad para reflexionar sobre lo que significa llegar a la adultez para los miembros de la comunidad queer. No todos los jóvenes queer llegan a cumplir 15 años, y hoy su memoria es una llama en nuestros corazones que seguirá alimentando nuestra lucha. Y muchos jóvenes queer no pudieron celebrar su transición a la adultez de una manera que honrará su verdadero ser. Para los que guardan recuerdos dolorosos de sus 15 años, hoy los celebramos a ustedes tanto como celebramos el Centro Pride. But growth should not stop at 15. And having a queer señora, quinceañera, is also a promise. It is a commitment to your family and your community that you will continue to grow. You will continue to do your part to keep the culture alive. And that is what the Pride Center will do, as Ben so beautifully spoke of. We will keep growing through advocacy, education, and creating community. And I'll add to that love, right? A deep love and appreciation for the community. Pero el crecimiento no debe detenerse a los 15 años. Y tener una quinceañera también es una promesa. Es un compromiso con tu familia y tu comunidad de seguir creciendo y hacer tu parte para mantener la cultura viva. Y eso es lo que hará el Centro Pride. Seguiremos creciendo a través de la defensa, la educación y la creación de comunidad. We thank you for accepting our invitation to our quince today, and we invite you to keep showing up. The Pride Center asks that you be true padrinos, true comadres and compadres, and to be there for us when it's time to celebrate and when it's time to fight for the rights of our LGBTQ+ familia. Thank you very much.